All right, everybody. So we had a few little problems there at the end. I think I got a shot of the GPU actually put in the system. However, the recording or whatever crashed while I was doing this. I'm now recording this on the new PC. So there were some issues. Let me just talk about some of the issues I had during the build. I think it's just mostly because of my experience level. Like I said, I haven't built a computer for 7 years or something, so I don't do it on a day-to-day basis. But everything seems to be working pretty fine. The CPU cooler that you see there in the background that has somewhere around between 48 and 50 degrees. I had that installed 1/4 turn to the right. And I made the assumption when I was putting it in that the LCD screen would actually just, or you could rotate it or something where it would be in a normal rotation. So apparently that's not a thing, or I didn't find it. I looked it up on the website. It didn't say anything that in the instructions either. So as you can see, I mounted the radiator to the right in the front of the PC, and you can barely see the RGB coming through the fans in the front, right? They are all the way to the right of the screen. So that works pretty good. I don't think you can really tell, but right here, right after the RTX, is where the radiator starts. This is the Corsair emblem of the radiator. So there is maybe, in American terms, 1/4 to 1/2 an inch space between the radiator and the GPU. So any bigger, this is, I think, a 360 millimeter GPU, which would make it the same length as the radiator, I guess. So maybe it's a little shorter, 340. I don't remember. You guys have to look it up. There's a link in the description below the video. You guys can look it up. But yeah, nothing bigger would fit in this case with the radiator mounted there. Now, the 360 millimeter radiator would not top mount. So there's actually a video. I watched a video by, let me see if I have it in my history over here while we're talking about it. History. So there's a video by, what is that guy's name? I literally was just watching some videos by PC Centric. I love PC Centric. You guys funny. Jay's 2 cents. I like Jay's 2 cents. Linus Tech Tips. I love Linus Tech Tips. The guy from PC Builders, cool. Daniel Owen, I like. Wednesday. Oh yeah, Paul's Hardware, I like that guy too. Where's this guy that I watched this video, and I was like super impressed. So he did a video on and ran the numbers based on a top mount radiator set to exhaust, right? Because that's typically what you do. So if you put the top mount radiator, you exhaust the fan. So you exhaust the hot air through the radiator and into, out of the case. And then you just have the incoming fans in the front of the case, right? And then you have an exhaust fan on the exterior. So I have the same. That's what I'm running right now. So 3 intake fans through the radiator in the front of the case, and then 3 exhaust fans, 2 in the top and 1 in the back. They're all 120 millimeter, something like SP 120s, I think. Oh no, they're AF 120s. So we have 3 AF 120 Well, a total of 6 in the case. AF120 RGB fans from Corsair. So, I can't find this guy's video, but I'll find it, then I'll put it in the description below. But this video was really good because it talks, he ran the numbers and talked about which way the fan should go, right? So, because almost everybody puts the radiator on the top, right? So he actually did, and he was expecting that that would have the best results. But putting the radiator in the front actually lowered the temperatures significantly for the GPU. I think for the GPU. So anyway, the best of, like, the CPU, I think it was the CPU temperature didn't really change, but the GPU temperature dropped significantly with the front-mounted radiator versus the top-mounted radiator. Because the front-mounted radiator, right, you're blowing cold air through the radiator. So maybe it was the CPU. No, I just don't really know. So I'll have to find the video and then put it in there. Corsair Flow. I can't find. I swear I just watched it too again, and now I can't really find it. And the guy is super popular. I just can't remember. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So anyway, so that was one issue. Top mount AIO versus front. Like a lot of people, obviously, there's, I guess if you just Google or just type this into YouTube, there is a whole ton of people that have videos on here. But I started following this guy. I saw him on Linus Tech Tips too, so it's a couple years old, the video, but it was really informative. I was surprised anyway. So maybe watch some of the other videos and see what you guys believe or whatever. Like, you know, Jay's 2 cents, right? He has one, so I like that guy. I don't know, so weird that I can't really find it right now because we're talking about it, right? So anyway, front mount, actually not a bad thing, right? Ideally, we would want the tubes, we'd want the tubes to be at the bottom, I think, would be the most ideal way to do it. But obviously we can't do that in this case, right? Also, maybe the tubes on the bottom would be less intrusive in the case. I don't know. But anyway, that's the way it worked out. So, not a big deal. Mounting the fans and the radiator, the Corsair. This is the Corsair H150i Elite LCD, whatever, $289, something like that. I was going to use the Capella. Now, if you guys have money to burn, this is a great, well, in my opinion, right? This is a good cooler, right? 360 millimeter cooler. If you guys don't have that extra $100, it is the exact same cooler as the Capella with just an LCD screen. And I think you can actually buy an LCD add-on for the Capella in the future if you want to do it. Like if you have, you know, you come into money later. So my suggestion, if you're going with Corsair, you know, instead of the Kraken or something else like that, then I would get the Capella and then whatever, unless you have, because the Capella is $180. This one, the Elite, is $289. So on Amazon and Best Buy and whatever. I didn't check Newegg, but this was a high-end build, so I'm like, well, we're just gonna go all out. I think I kind of wasted a lot of money. We could have probably done this same build for considerably cheaper, right? So you can't change the price of the 4090. That's pretty much the thing. We could have messed around with the motherboard pricing. Like I got a $500 motherboard didn't really need a $500 motherboard, right? So we could have gotten something different. It is a Z90 or a Z790 Extreme, right? Just the Strix edition. So I could have probably went with, maybe we could have even went with the, what is the other one? The lower budget one, the 690 or whatever. So we probably could have even went with that. But again, this is, whatever. I'm not planning on building another computer anytime soon, right? So it'd probably be at least another 7 years. So why not, right? Same with the LCD one. At first, honestly, my mistake, but I assumed that this cooler was better than the Capella, but apparently it is exactly the same as the Capella. It's the same cooler, just with the LCD screen. But the LCD screen looks cool. I can monitor the temps and stuff like you can see right here. However, I can also monitor the temps on my computer screen with an app or whatever, with an add-on. I don't know why my phone is blowing up. All the cameras are like, doodle-doo, people in the house. So there's that. Where else could we have saved some money? I mean, I put 64 gigabytes of DDR5, 6400 RAM in there. I had to use DDR5 because that's what the motherboard, right? So with because of the motherboard I used, had to use DDR5. More than likely, you will have to use DDR5 if you go with, I mean, especially if you go with an AM5 board. If you're going to go with the 7950X3D, which would probably be my suggestion if you're not using it for production. If you're just using it for gaming, definitely get the X7950X3D, whatever it is, the Ryzen one. I've never used Ryzen chips or AMD chips. So mostly because everything I've always had to do for work and 3D rendering and, AutoCAD and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, could have saved a little bit money going with 32 gigabytes. Don't really need 64 gigabytes, but again, high-end build, and I plan on using that. Don't know that it makes much of a difference, but we'll see. I'll be doing some tests and see how that works. But the price difference from 64 to 32 to 64 is not a huge difference, right? I put two Samsung 980 Pros, M.2 NVMe Gen 4 SSDs in there. So those were on sale, $124 a piece or something like that, or $128 a piece. So I got two of those, 2 terabytes each, so that's 4 terabytes. And then I had a 1 terabyte 970 Evo in my other computer that I just added in here. So I have a total of 5 terabytes in the computer itself. The 980 Pros are pretty fast, but they're not 990 Pro fast. So, there's that. Or FireCuda. Maybe FireCudas are a little bit faster. My suggestion would be just if you wanted to spend a little bit more money on a FireCuda as your OS drive, and then use the 980s as, game drive or something like that, maybe. That would be a good way to go. But yeah, no big deal. So those weren't too expensive. I'm using the Corsair 4000D Airflow RGB case. So the RGB one comes with 3 AF120 fans in the front. Let me look it up to make sure I'm not talking out of my ass. Corsair 4000D. So this was like all the rage everybody was using, a little while ago. For good reason. I think the airflow, makes a good point, right? You're like literally using this page that I just looked up says they're QL 120 fans. But I don't think that's what it said on Amazon. Let's see. Strange New Worlds. Oh, gosh. Corsair 4000D. Excuse me. Let's see what we got. I like the mesh front, too. I probably have a picture of that I'll show you guys, but no, yeah. So on Amazon, which is where I got it, it says 3 included AF120 RGB Elite fans. So that's what I thought they were. Up to 2100 RPMs. So what I ended up doing was taking the 3 out of the front of the case, and then I moved 2 to the top and 1 to the back for exhaust. And then I used the 3 also AF120s that came with the radiator to the front. So we pretty much can only put 5 fans in here, or a total of 6 fans. What was cool is the case. I mean, it was a little bit of a problem, right? The case actually came with not a Commander. I don't know which model. I don't think it says on here, but it comes with a fan hub and RGB hub. In the case, but the cooler comes with the better hub that can handle 6. It can handle 6 fans in one fan hub, right? So 6 RGB inputs and 6 fan inputs in the Commander Pro, whatever it is, for the IQ technology. So I basically took the other 2 out of the case and then put the bigger one in. I could have left them in the case, but I just wanted it a little cleaner, so I just actually ripped them out, just sticky taped on there pretty much. Save them for later, maybe something else, some other build. So that all works pretty good. The IQ software is pretty decent. You can control the fan speeds and all that stuff. What else? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, one thing that frustrated me a little bit, I bought this motherboard because it had 3 PCIe slots, right? One for the GPU and then 2 additional ones, right? So in my brain, or my hope was that I would be able to fit the GPU, and then I'd be able to use both of the other slots. So one for my Elgato 4K 60 capture card for the consoles, right? And then I also have a Camlink Pro internal card. So, the 4K Camlink Pro from Elgato. So I can put in all of the additional, any additional cameras or whatever. So I couldn't do that. So then I had to make a decision between which one do I really want to put in there. Obviously, it's not much of a decision, right? Because the 4K 60 internal capture card, I could actually hook the camera up to that, and if I'm not using a console, and still be able to use that, right, if I needed to. But I definitely wanted to pass through for the consoles. Otherwise, how can I record in OBS? So I had to use that one. So I have this 4K 60 or whatever, this Camlink Pro. Maybe I'll do a giveaway for that. So that might be a good thing to do. Also, if anybody has older computers or something that needs a 2070 Super, let me know. I have 2. So I might actually do those as giveaways or something when I get up to my first 100 subs or something. I have a lot of giveaways planned for this year because I have a bunch of stuff. You might see the battle box video. So I got a bunch of knives and things like that in there. So might be using those as giveaways. I don't know what the giveaway rules are on YouTube. I don't know. I guess I'll have to look that up. Maybe we'll do it on Discord server or something where there's no legality issues. And it will definitely be only in the United States. Sorry for everybody else, but I'm not going to deal with international shipping. Unless in Canada it's okay to ship. It's easier. Then maybe that's a thing, but whatever. I don't know. I don't want to deal with the custom stuff. Okay, so what else about this case? Oh, and the MSI A1, whatever, MPG A1000 Alpha 1000 watt, 80 plus gold rated power supply. Super excellent. Came with the, you can barely see it right here, but came with the cable, the 600 watt cable, 600 watt, 16 pin on both end cable. Beautiful, perfect, great. I love all that. Got some cable issues up here. Then we can see over here that black cable. And then the 2 CPU cables in the top left, you can't barely see them in this image, but so what I'm gonna do, which I just couldn't get in time because I needed to get this set up for this weekend, was I'll get some cable mods, and I really want to put some white and black cables, right? So alternate between black and white on all of the strands of the cables. So I'm going to get those and swap that out. I'll probably do another little picture or video or whatever once the cable mod stuff is in. I don't know what to do with the radiator hose. I'd love to be able to wrap one of the 2 hoses in white or something, but I'm not sure what to do with that. I could obviously spray paint the shield on the MSI board white, but I don't really care about that so much. I do have to figure out how to get the ROG lights to match up with the IQ lights, and then if I can change the MSI graphics card lights to just be the same color. I feel like actually they're in the ROG, and the graphics card are in the same rainbow rotation, so the colors are actually synced. So maybe it has something to do with the motherboard. But if I can just leave them statically as white, that would be pretty cool. The lights now on the RAM, right, and then the 3 fans that you can see there are actually Corsair blue, but I think that actually looks better than actually the white. So I really wanted to just have white LEDs on the inside. It's funny, in this image, this video here, the RAM, it looks like it's picking up as white, and the fans look more blue, but they're actually identical blue. And even the outside light on the LED or LCD thing in the middle, the outside light is actually the same color blue, but it looks white. It matches the RAM instead of the fans. It's just a weird trick with the camera, I bet. The internal swirls, I think, are color coded to maybe match the temperature, right? Like the higher the temperature, the orangey and reddish colors. I'm not really sure, or actually maybe it's more rotation, or it could just be rainbow. So I don't really know. That's stuff I got to play with. All pretty interesting though, right? What else do we need to know? I don't know. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section below the video. I'll answer every question, any question you guys have, to the best of my ability. But, oh yeah, for the camera, though, I did happen to have the 4K Cam Link, the USB connector. So my camera is a Sony ZV-E10. What is it? Sony ZV-E10, right? With this, it has the Sony alpha lens, right, which is basically identical to the Sigma lens, right, that everybody was using with their DSLR cameras for live streaming and all of that stuff. So that's what you're seeing the video of. I didn't really play around with the settings too much to try to clean up the video of the LCD or LED lights inside the case. And it is actually, I should have probably took the tempered glass part off. That's probably, I just thought about that now. That would have probably made I think the light infiltration through the glass is sort of distorting it. I didn't even think about it until just right now. I could have just taken the glass off. That probably would have been smarter. Hey, I never said I was intelligent. So anyway, that Cam Link, obviously that's working really good, right? So that Cam Link, what happened originally was I bought 2 of those because I was like, well, I have this and my GoPro camera or something like that I want to use for like overhead shots and things like that. So right now I'm only going to be able to use one camera, right? Unless it's a USB camera. So I can use my C920 whatever camera that's a USB camera is not a problem. I probably could hook up the GoPro via USB as well, right? But anyway, so I was like using 2 of those cam links, and I'm like, well, why don't I just buy the cam link pro thing or whatever that has 4 inputs? I'm like, that's a better way to go, so I can use 4 cameras. And then I returned the one, but I forgot to return the second one, and luckily I still had it laying around, so now I'm using that. The great thing about this board for peripherals, it has 10 USB 3.0, right? So it's like 3.1, 3.22, whatever. I don't know. It has 10 USB 3.0-ish connectors in the back. Also 2 USB-C, which is that 3.2, whatever it is. So it has 2 of those in the back, along with the 10 regular ones. And then it only has one, the case only has one USB 3.0 and one USB-C. Does it have USB-C in the front? I think it does. Yeah. So only one in the front panel, USB 3 and USB-C, whatever it's called. And then an audio input for your headphones. So I'm literally using all 10 of those USB 3.0 slots in the back. I think I'm using 9 because I just swapped out. I took something out. Oh, I took out my Astro A40 deck. It hasn't been really working very well, so. But, you know, for streaming, I have a lot of stuff, right? So I have a Stream Deck. I have the Wave XLR for my microphone. Now I have the cam link in there. I have one cable for my keyboard, one cable for my mouse. My keyboard and mouse are both wireless. However, the mouse has a hub that plugs in to charge itself, and the keyboard needs to be charged. So that cable exists, right? I could plug it in just when I needed it to charge, but don't have to worry about that now. And then I have the Logitech G9-13900KF whatever it is, wheel and pedals. And then I also have the Logitech side panel for like farming sim, obviously, and stuff like that, those kind of games. And then I also have, and I put it in the original video or the other video, but I also bought the Mediasonic Pro Box 4-bay hard drive enclosure, and I love that. So far, it's working out really good. Keeps the hard drives out of the case, but gives me right now I have 12 terabytes of usable storage backed up, right? So it's using 2 12 terabyte drives in basically a RAID format. So it double copies all of the data so that you have a backup of your backup, technically, right? So pretty good. I like it. It all was pretty easy to set up. Windows pretty much recognized it. The hard drives in there, I just had to initialize them, then format them, and then set up. What I didn't know is at first I was recording some stuff on there, and then I was like, oh no, wait, I think I have to set up storage spaces first, and then that was right. I went into storage spaces. It's like we're going to erase the drives to set up a storage pool. So had to copy the stuff back off the drive, let storage spaces do its thing, but now I'm just transferred everything over there, and it's working out perfect. It actually shows up as just one drive of 12 terabytes or whatever, so that's pretty good, I guess. I still have 2 slots open, so I can add another, 2 more 12 terabyte drives to give me 24 terabytes of storage if I, for some reason, need that. I don't really need that kind of storage, but that was all cheap, though. I mean, relatively, right? Money is money, and some people, right, it's a hard thing, but I work pretty hard, so. The Mediasonic thing was just $100, right around $100, the 4-bay enclosure. I would recommend that to anybody over getting a NAS, unless you're sharing stuff with multiple computers and multiple people or whatever, right? If you just have one office or whatever, that is the best way to go. If you're not using it as a media server or any of those kind of things, right? Just for backup, that's the best solution I found for the cheapest amount of money. The hard drives, again, I'm using 12 terabyte Iron Wolves, and those seem to be pretty good. I'll probably do a review after about a year and see how they're holding up, because I think they're technically NAS drives, and I don't know how it works with a NAS drive over a regular hard drive or whatever. Excuse me. And again, you could have got FireCuda drives or something like that to be a little bit faster, but I'm not reading and writing to those. I'm just writing. So I'm basically just transferring stuff off the computer M.2 onto that drive for long-term storage. So they're not really it's not reading and writing, right? It's just basically writing. So don't really care so much about that. So that takes up another USB slot, right? So I don't know what else I have in there, but it seems like there's a lot of stuff. So yeah, but again, I've been talking 30 minutes about nothing. So excuse me, man, sorry. So I think because it's a 30-minute video, I'll probably put it up as a separate video, but of just me talking, right? So again, just ask me any questions if you guys have any questions about the build. I'm not a big overclocker and stuff like that, so I don't really know a lot. I'm going to, over the next year, kind of play around with the motherboard, play around with the graphics card, play around with the memory, see what I need to do. I mostly care about efficiency, right? So as long as everything is efficient, like I'm still kind of scared, like in my own brain, like why are the temperatures like you see on the screen, like is 60 degrees Celsius okay? Like what is, like, I gotta look that stuff up. Like because that's there now I'm concerned all the time. Like, what is the temperature? Oh my God, is that okay temperature? What's too hot? So again, with I know the i9-13900Ks, right, run super hot. So I just don't know, like, what do I need to watch for? Is 100 degrees okay? Like, should I shut down the computer if it gets to 100 degrees? Like, I don't really know. So I'm going to do another video on some game testing, right? So we have a bunch of separate videos. So sorry about that, food delivery. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so to record some FPS and all of that stuff. Diablo 4 and Cyberpunk definitely, and maybe Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not sure if I want to spend the $60 on that. Maybe I will. Just don't tell my wife. So yeah, I think everything looks pretty cool. I like it. So it seems to be working good. You know, I'm playing a YouTube video, or actually right now, am I rendering right now? I don't even know if no, I don't think I'm rendering. But I think with the 64 gigabytes of RAM and the 4090, I should be able to render and also stream, or not stream, but record a video, and play a game. So play a game, encode a video, and render another video in the background, or whatever, upload to YouTube or something. I think I should be able to do all that at the same time without too much problems. So we'll see how that goes. I increased my encoding settings or whatever in OBS to AV1 encoder, and I think I can, because I'm obviously my monitors are 1440p monitors. I don't have a 4K monitor yet. I have a 4K OLED 65-inch TV in here, but usually that's just when I'm playing on the console by myself. So, but I think I can upscale with the 4090 from 1440p to 4K. And I'd like to see how that works, right? If that actually comes out pretty good. Like if I can upload a 4K video to YouTube, even though I'm playing it at 1440p, that would be pretty interesting to see how much the quality difference is. All right. I don't really have anything else to say. I'm happy with the Airflow 4000D, but I think I would actually go up to the 5000. I think it's 5000D for a little bit of extra space in the case. Oh, yeah, the 5000D Airflow. I mean, it's an extra $60 or $50 or whatever, but it's the exact same case. It's just bigger. So then you would be able to put the 36 or the 360 millimeter radiator in the front or on top if that's what you want. So instead of being limited to 6 120 fans, we could actually get wow, you can actually put the radiator in the front of the case or actually right to the back. So where those cables are coming through to the motherboard from the back of the case is wider right there, and you can actually mount a radiator back there. So you could mount that back radiator as an exhaust and just have 3 fans coming through from the front. So it looks like you can get a total of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fans in there. And also multiple radiators, right? So if you were going to do a GPU radiator and a CPU radiator, you could get both 360 radiators put in there. I mean, literally, you could get 3, but why would you need 3? So definitely a lot more room for water blocking. And also you could actually have the radiator with the hoses down, because there's a lot of space for that too. So anyway, I might switch to the bigger case at some point, but not anytime soon, because I can't really want to spend the extra money. I mean, I could afford it, but I don't want to afford it. But yeah, my suggestion would be not to get the 400 or the 4000, but get the 5000 if you're going to go with a 480 or 490 graphics card. And room for next gen's graphics card, because who knows how big those will be. Same exact case in white or black. Same with the mesh in the front. You know, the cutouts in the mesh and all that stuff in the front. Still comes with the comes with fans and all of that stuff. So I don't know if you're going to stick with the airflow type case. There's also a 7000, I think. So here we go. I'm just wasting time talking again, which probably absolutely nobody's listening. But yeah, you can actually go with the 7000 full tower case, also in black and white. And that thing is a beast, right? So, yeah, I wouldn't spend the extra money on that, though. But I guess you could if you were into that. What I really would like to do at this point is buy a bigger motherboard that has more PCIe lanes, so I'd be able to fit all the add-on cards that I wanted to. But do I really need it? Probably not. This is actually perfectly fine. This size, it has everything I need. I just would have liked to have put the multi-camera internal card in there, and I'll probably need to do that at some point if I want to, you know, use multiple cameras. Now, this case is actually set up for vertical installation of the graphics card, not this graphics card, right? So you can see right back here the cutouts or whatever for that. This card's taking up 3 cutouts. That case, like this 4000D only has 2 slots. So same with the 5000D. It actually only has 2 slots in the back. So this case does not fit this motherboard or this GPU in a vertical situation because it's too big. I don't know if all the 490s take up 3 slots, but this one definitely takes up 3 slots and it will not fit there. So that would probably be a better solution if I could get a case that actually I could put the vertical, I could, you know, buy the vertical attachment and mount this card vertical. Plus it would look cool to be able to see the fans and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, again, let me know if you guys have any questions, and stay tuned for the next video in the series about all the benchmarks and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.